Hello, my hellos. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Spiritually Boujee Astrology, and we are going to take a deeper look at the new moon in Scorpio. The new moon in Scorpio that is in a trine to Jupiter, a trine to Saturn and Neptune, an opposition to Uranus, and includes a double whammied Mercury Cazimi. We're going to be doing a lot of deep dives into this one. Now, before we get started, I want to remind everybody you have 10 days left to book a session on the discounted pricing. Now, I'm going to show everybody again just because it makes it easier for everybody to be able to find the right website. All you got to do is go to www.thespirituallyboujee.com. You can see that right here. Go to astrological services, and you got four options right now, but the two that mainly need to be focused on is the first and second Mercury retrograde special. You can get an hour-long session for $35. You can get a 90-minute session for $50. Please make sure you're picking the right ones, because I've had a couple people pick the 30-minute one, hoping to still get 60 minutes, and I don't have that booking time, guys. You have to pick the one that you actually want. So I want to be super clear about that one. There's going to also be people that you like to get multiple sessions. This will be the last time you can book so many sessions at such a discounted rate. We will never have this pricing again. You can do 3 60-minute sessions for the bulk price of 105. That's 35 a piece. Same thing with the 60 minutes. They're still 35 a piece. You're just paying the bulk amount of the 175. You can do that. You can also do the gift certificates for different coaching sessions as we're getting closer to Black Friday and holidays and blah, 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 blah. There's going to be some of you that you want to gift readings, and you can get the gift certificates for the one-on-one sessions at the lower rate. You have until the end of the Mercury retrograde, which of course is November 29th. So I want to be absolutely clear. You got 10 days left. At the time that I'm recording this, which is November 19th, you have 10 days left to book. When Mercury goes direct, the special ends. So there's that. Okay. Now, whenever it comes to the vibration around this new moon, this Mercury Cazimi, it is in a trine to the other two water signs. So trines are triangles. Water flows. There's connectivity here, but water has a lot to do with emotions. Now, at the top of this little triangle, this is the new moon. This is the Mercury Cazimi. This is where we're getting clarity. This is where we need to do revisions. This is where we're getting something different. This is where we're getting forced to change. This is where some people will have accountability. The new moon, the Mercury retrograde Cazimi in Scorpio. This down here is Saturn and Neptune, stationing to end their retrograde. In a lot of ways, there's going to be certain amounts of accountability again, belief systems, Neptune, lies, fraud, deception, Neptune, certain traditions that are going to end whenever it comes to the Saturn-Neptune area. Now, is it going to end directly during the new moon? No. It's more in the next 2 weeks building up to the full moon in Gemini, because between this new moon and the full moon, we will have these two planets in their retrograde. Simultaneously, it is in a trine to this knuckle over here, just going with the knuckles idea. And this is Jupiter, newly retrograde in Cancer. And after we are done with Scorpio season, which is just a few days after the new moon, after we get through all of the Scorpio transits, which will take place over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, everything through the rest of the year moves into Jupiter's signs. It is an area of the sky where we are having reflection, expansion, healing, lessons that are a long time in the making. And for a lot of people, the clarity of the Mercury Cazimi will also show something that has been going on behind the scenes, below the surface, underground, deep within, that needs to be revised, reshaped, rethought, redone. A lot of reinvigorate, renovate. Now, whenever it comes to this vibration, the Mercury Cazimi is a mental energy. we are going to learn something. We are going to see something. We are going to communicate something. We're going to have something communicated to us. There will be revelation. There will be something revealed. For some people, it's going to be one of those deep-seated reflective energies of like, holy crap, I was so wrong. For some of you, you are going to be the mirror. You're going to be the other 2 points of the sky with the trines going, what is wrong with you? What are you thinking? Shaking some people, flicking some flip-flops at people. Get the chocolate. Giving clarity, giving advice, giving lessons. And for a lot of people, as much as it is mental based off of the Mercury Cazimi, it is also very, very emotional because it is a new moon in Scorpio. There are going to be hidden thoughts to this week, not just during the Cazimi, not just during the new moon. It's this entire week. Hidden thoughts, difficult clarity. It is not an easy thing that you get clear on. The reflection, the lessons, the light. It is not easy. For some people, this energy has been a test, and certain people have been coming back around to see if you're going to repeat the lessons. And this week really hones in on the fact whether if we're going to repeat the lessons or not, if we're going to break the pattern, if we're going to do the opposite. Some of y'all didn't listen before. You didn't figure it out before. It wasn't clear when I started to say, hey, it's time to do the opposite. Something in this week shows you why we need to do the opposite, why we need to do the change. We're going to see something in ourselves differently. I don't like the way this feels. How long have we been doing the same thing over and over again? Oh, about 2 or 3 years. Do you know the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, committing to the chaos, committing to the insanity. So many people have been committed to the insanity, and it is time to not continue patterns. It is time to not continue beating our head against the wall, trying to convince somebody to do the right thing. If they were going to do the right thing, it wouldn't be a fight. You wouldn't have to convince someone. There's accountability. For some of us, it is an internal accountability. Again, it is looking in the mirror. Some of us, we are holding up that mirror. See what you did? Do you see this? Had a conversation with a friend this morning. I was like, do you understand what the opposite of love is? It was hate. It's not hate. It's really not. It's indifference. When you still come from a point of anger when you respond and hate, all the negative vibrations, those are emotional ties. Areas that need to be addressed, areas that need to be healed. No one person is completely free of sin or karma or whatever word you want to use. There's guilty on both sides. We allow certain things to happen. We give grace too often. Other people see that you gave them an inch and they're stretching it miles. And you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. But you allowed that to continue. And that's the accountability aspect. We fall in love with the idea. We fall in love with the potential, the possibility of something. And for a lot of people, the clarity of this Mercury Cazimi, the discovery of this Mercury Cazimi combined with the new moon is accepting the accountability that sometimes you are the frickin' problem. Allowing it to continue. We get to the root cause. I've said it before. We're feeling it differently. And I said as we get through this week, there would be more and more emotions finding their way to the surface. Little things from the universe coming back around to trigger some insecurities, giving you the chance to make a different decision. If you made the different decision before, you might just have 1 or 2 extra tests just to be like, are you sure that we're changing this behavior? Oh, we're not going to let it bother us. We're not going to feed into the drama. We're not going to feed into the gossip, the bullshit, the whatever it is. Nope. We're just going to let some stuff happen and let them do them. perfect. It's a part of your healing process. The opposite of love is indifference. It's not caring anymore. It's looking at a name, looking at someone in the face. Oh, you are still alive. That's good to know. I have nothing. I want nothing. I do not care. I've tried. I've begged. I've screamed. I've cried. I've tried to make that connection, to make something work. And the thing is it's not always a romantic relationship. Sometimes it's our family. I've tried to be a sister. I've tried to be a mom. I've tried to be a brother. I've tried to be a grandparent. I've tried to do these things. I keep trying and I keep getting hurt. I keep getting used. I keep letting something continue, even though I hate that it's happening. I hate the way it makes me feel. But for some part of me, I still want the gratification of being connected to you. I wanted to be your sister. But I don't want that anymore. I don't want the pain. I don't want the judgment. I don't want the snickering. I don't want the lies. I don't care. Say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Think whatever you want. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do. So many of us get into these moments where we have to realize the family tree needs to get cut down. We chop the family tree. We take that lumber, we build something different for ourselves. The only thing that remains is the roots. The roots are real. The roots hold memories. The roots will always be there. Your ancestors will always be your ancestors. But that does not mean your path has to be the path that was chosen by other people. You have to choose things for yourself. You have to let go. You have to release, remove, disconnect. When you do not care, you really don't care. And that is truly the opposite of love. If you go into this energy with rage, with anger, there's parts of your ego that is still hurt. We have a few little layers to peel back to get a better understanding. Because the true opposite of love is indifference. It's not the hatred. It's not the anger. Those are still elements of love. They're hurt versions of it. Not giving a shit anymore is the ultimate form of healing. Now, the other parts of this energy is not going to be so reflective. It is not going to be a mirror. It is not going to be telling people, I don't care anymore. It is not coming to the internal discovery of, I really don't care anymore. It's going to be a different kind of discovery that creates separation. And I said it at the beginning of the month. For some people, this month is a 2-month. 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, split decisions. There will be splits this month. For other people, there is going to be intuition. There is going to be knowledge. There is going to be level up by how we get through the month. For some of you, I've been helping you through your splits. For others, I'm helping you with being the support. But sometimes the support is going to have to live in the moment, experience something in the moment. Sometimes the decisions are based off what happens in the moment. You see someone act a certain way. You see something come to light. You hear something. You catch something. You discover something that once it is learned, once it is heard, once it is discovered, once it is expressed, there is no going back. Pivotal revelations, pivotal moments of clarity. This is crossing lines So much of this energy, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Sometimes you don't even realize what your boundary is going to be that finally makes you put your foot down. I've seen so many people, you go through abusive relationships, you go through hard patterns, and he's done this to me, and he did this to me, and he took advantage. Hell, I've been this person too every once in a while. I was stupid, young, and married and thought I had the world figured out. Hard lessons to learn. I know. We all been there in some capacity at some point. But it still comes down to there's that defining moment that after it is said, after it is done, you can't go back. You can't take that back. You can't unsee it. There is no going back. You said what? You did what? It's always different. You never know quite how it's going to impact you, what it's going to take. And sometimes it's something very, very simple, but other times it's going to be something very, very big. And this is an eye-opening week whenever it comes to whether we are going to understand our boundaries or not. Because again, this new moon and this Mercury Cazimi, it is in a trine to Saturn. And there's going to be a lot of people that realize, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to wait for you to change your behavior anymore. I'm not going to listen to your bullshit anymore. Actions are louder than words. If you continue to hear someone say, oh, it's going to be great, everything's going to be okay, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to do this, but you are constantly in a place of pain, of need, of hurt. Need is kind of loose. Sometimes we just got to do the hustle, but need is kind of loose. But if you're constantly in this same place, holding on to empty words and empty promises, and the actions are always the opposite. Actions are louder than words. Believe the behavior. I wish that was something that was taught to me whenever I was younger. Believe the behavior. For some people, what you see, what you experience this week will completely change the way you see another person. Believe the behavior. Now, for some people, there might be clarity that somebody has changed. I feel like that's very minimal compared to the bigger vibration. Some of us are going to see that there has been a change. But then we have to decide if that change is worth us connecting to. If that change is worth disrupting our peace. Anytime you let someone into your vibration, into your circle, into your home, I don't care if it's a romantic relationship, if it is a family member, if it is a new pet, you know, I love my dogs. If it is a friend, that person is going to disrupt your peace. They're going to disrupt the routine. But are they chaotic disruption or are they pivotal disruption? Do they find ways to contribute to a piece? It might not be the same piece that you had before. The players have changed. But do they contribute to the wellness? Do they contribute to creating peace that is acceptable for both sides? Or are they full of drama? Are they full of crap? Are they always bringing in a mess? Are they always being a mess, making a mess? Making their mess your mess? Are they disrupting your peace? Sometimes that's what we need to get clear on. There is clarity that instigates immediate reaction. Now, I'm not saying immediate reaction is in right that second. Some people might need a day or two to really get their head on straight, but I don't think it's going to take more than a day or two. Some of us, it will be immediate. You're going to see someone act a certain way, do a certain thing, and be like, you can leave now. You don't live here. This is my place. This is my stuff. That's my car. You can leave. call an Uber. Some of you have to make the decision to leave. I don't like the way this feels. I don't like what's going on. This is too risky. This is disrupting my peace. We don't continue in the pattern of disrupting peace. The clarity that comes through is a revision clarity. And it is a revision where we want to solidify into something. For some people, it is going to identify the root cause. It is going to identify the wound. It is going to identify the pain. It is going to identify the thing that cannot continue. For other people, it is going to give direction. The clarity will have direction, but even it is to do something new. Something won't continue. Something has to change. Not all the change is going to come all at once. The Mercury retrograde is going to continue until the end of the month. So not all the change is going to happen at once. And some people are going to just have reactions to the change. Some of us are going to be very, very loud after this new moon as to what they have saw. Those screaming from the rooftops, he over here acting crazy. Stuff is happening. I don't like it. Some people will be revealing truths. Some people will be forced to accept truths that they did not want to accept before. There is an intensity to the vibration this week. It doesn't have to be bad, but be real about what you see and how you're going to work with it. What needs to come to light, what needs to change, where we will have acceptance, and where we will no longer allow for certain things to continue. That's a hyperized energy that really comes through in the Mercury Cazimi and the new moon, but it will continue through the end of the Mercury retrograde. And by the time we get to that full moon in Gemini, which is 2 weeks away, that will be more of like, I want to put something straight. I want to start something new. I want to level something up. But before we can get to that point, we got to understand where we need clarity, where we need to see new truths, what the root cause is of certain situations. And we need to believe the actions more than the lies that get told, the versions of the truth that get told. Remember, somebody can tell you that they love you, but that does not mean that they're in love with you. These are two different statements. I said that before. I am saying it again. Oh, for a lot of you, you're going to be very shocked by what it means, by what it feels like, by how it comes through. But there is clarity, but it's not going to necessarily be an easy clarity. For some people, this is going to be emotional. It is going to bring pain. It is going to bring up the old wounds. It is going to force you to face a fear. Be aware of that. Okay. I'm done beating that part up. So let's get into information about your ascendant. I read everything from a whole house system. What does that mean? I don't care if your ascendant is at 2 degrees or 22 degrees. Wherever your ascendant is in the chart, that entire zodiac sign becomes your first house. There are 12 houses. There are now 12 zodiac signs. This is not a coincidence. They feed into one another. And every numerical house after your ascendant will be associated with the next zodiac sign. I'm going to do pictures, of course, of the cards after this is done recording. And I do upload the pictures to both Facebook and Instagram. Some of you guys like knowing what your cards are going to be. You want to keep pictures of them. You want to keep tabs. It helps you if you want to go back and do additional research. The pictures of the cards that we pull are always put up on Facebook and Instagram. So there's that. So with that being said, let's get into Aries and Aries risings. Okay, my loves. Now, this is a new moon in your 8th house. Death, debt, taxes, inheritance, shared assets, shared resources, money, inheritance, estates, insurance. I'm trying to think of anything fund wise. There can be stuff that has to do with like home loans, HELOCs, based off of the fact that this is a new moon, Mercury Cazimi, still loosely very much in the trine to Jupiter. And the thing about Jupiter for you guys is Mars, your chart ruler, is in Jupiter's sign. Jupiter is in the angular house. Now, what is that angular house? The angular house is the more dominant of the houses. It's the ones that we can normally see the impact a lot clearer, and we're a lot busier. For some of y'all, whatever is coming through financially is impacting the home life. It's impacting the household. It's going to make you have to rebudget some things. It's also going to make you aware of some things that need to come to a close. Now, the other thing about this new moon in the Mercury Cazimi is it is in a trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 12th house. The unknown, the unseen, endings, healing, betrayal, secrets. The 8th house is also a house of secrets. Some of the things that come to light, y'all are going to be having to gain some experience, gain some knowledge that you didn't necessarily know, because again, your chart ruler, it is in the 9th house. It is in Jupiter's sign. The thing about Jupiter is it's more along the lines of learning through experience than learning through a traditional classroom. There's something in the truth. There's something in the information. There's something in the choices. There's something that needs to come through. For some of you, it is going to start to give you a different passion, something that you have to learn. So for others, it is going to make you face certain fears and overcome a lot of adversity. And the adversity is going to be hard to identify at first, but it is a big part of this vibration. For some of you, this is going to cost you some extra money unexpectedly, because remember, this is also in the opposition to Uranus in your 2nd house of money. So the big financial element for many people, you might be having some unplanned expenses. You might have some unplanned whirlwinds. Like, it could actually be a lot more positive for some people. And it could also just be the extra expenses whenever it comes to some kind of travel. There can be some mundane aspects to this anyways. But there is a series of decisions. I've been talking about this 2 energy all month. 2 of Wands, 2 of Coins. Here you go, 2 of Coins. There is decision that needs to be made. There is clarity that needs to be made. There are a certain amount of decisions where we need to have more information brought to light so you know what actions to take next. The thing about your chart ruler is, again, it is in a fire sign. It is in Jupiter's sign. And we are learning a lot of things in the moment through experience. For some of you, there is a lot of truths that need to be spoken, that need to come to light. And some of these things are things that we have not wanted to face. We have this Queen of Swords energy, and we have the 9 of Swords energy. For some of you, there is going to be other things that come through that it's going to cost you money. We've got this 5 of Coins here. For others, the cost is going to be the only way to get through with something is to pay someone off. For some of you, the only way you're going to feel restored is if somebody's paying you off. And for a lot of people, because of Saturn and Neptune, where they're at in this trine, this might not be new stuff. This can be stuff that goes back months, specifically to the springtime, based off of where certain transits are, but it can go even further back. There is a cost analysis. There is wages that need to be paid. There is debts that need to be worked out. But then there are also things that are starting to give us a different direction. Knight of Wands, based off of who we have on our corner, who is giving us clarity, who is giving us certain information with the King of Cups. With the swords energy, with the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Swords, that feels like it's tied to the Mercury Cazimi. The clarity, the discovery, the information. Some of us have had to go back over stuff from before, and it's like hindsight 2020. Once we reread something, once we re-experience something, it's just like, why did I let that slide? I should have never. And it's one of those things that helps you with making the decision. It helps you with understanding the responsibility. It helps you in the direction. Given the fact that Mars is in the ninth house, some of you might be getting clarity while you're traveling. Some of you might just be traveling, and you might end up having one or two issues in regards to your wallet or your cards or something like this. You also might get a little extra splurgy through this energy of like, I want to go do extra things because it's going to give you some kind of emotional validation. You're just being a little extra spendy. Considering Venus is also in Scorpio, like there can be just this hidden desire of like, I want to do this regardless of the cost. But for other people, there is direction, financial direction in some ways. There is other decisions that can be a part of the financial thing that is going to lead to what we commit to later on, because we have a new level of commitment that will be coming between the very last 2 weeks of December and a lot more in January, February. Those 3 months are unreal with the new that are coming through. And I mean the 2, it's technically 2. I'm literally thinking the last 10 days of December to through the first 3 weeks of February. So it's technically 2 months. It's 8 weeks. The new that arrives, that debuts, that comes through, for many of you is going to impact the direction of your careers, of your goals for the future, how you shine, how you're putting things forward. It is going to impact things in your health. For some of you, this vibration is coming to terms with death, with endings, with closure. That means estate planning for yourself, grandma and grandpa, mom and dad. Does it actually result in full death at that moment? Not necessarily. It could. It could happen any day. It totally depends on how your natal chart's getting activated. But for some people, there can be a lot of big revisions and clarity as to what's going to happen in someone's estate, what's going to be happening in someone's insurance policy, what's going to be happening with someone's investments. For some of you, you could be helping other people with their situations. For some of you, you're getting clarity of what you need to do in your own situation. This is not a direct energy for you guys. It is a behind the scenes, below the surface, learning through experience, learning through the moment, and taking that energy forward in a certain way. This one is not as quote, quote, explosive in the sense of like charge. I feel like you guys are already in motion because Mars has been in Sagittarius for a minute. And I'm putting that emphasis on your chart ruler to make that energy. But this is happening in the other Mars ruled sign. So I know it's fueling you in some way, but it's not fueling you in a direct way. It's in indirect ways. It's in ways that you wouldn't have initially anticipated. But once you learn it, once you understand it, it's giving you direction. And the Knight of Wands here, this is direction. This is a passion. This is a drive. This is giving you determination. And I feel like a lot of you, again, it's based off of some support, some truths, some clarity that has come through in this Mercury retrograde. You're learning a lot day by day, experience by experience. And it is going to help you in the long run. It's going to give you direction in the long run. So be aware of that. Okay, moving along. Moving along. We're going to get to Taurus and Taurus risings. This is a new moon, Mercury Cazimi combination in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters and other people. Here's the thing. Most people look at the 7th house and they immediately think of an actual romantic relationship. I don't do that. The 7th house is anybody and everybody else. It is me. It is your significant other. It is your past significant others. It is your boss. It is your high school bully. It is anybody and everybody else. And for a lot of you, whatever is going on with somebody else feels shocking to you because this new moon Mercury Cazimi, it's in an opposition to Uranus, and Uranus has recently come back into your first house. Either you are extremely shocked by what is coming through, by what you have discovered, by what is being seen differently, by the truths that have come to light, or, big or here, they are shocked by you and your way of seeing it and your reception to something. There is shock that for many of you, you haven't been prepared for. For others, it is going to make you aware of the things that need to be left behind. I've said this before, I'm saying it again. There's a lot of energy towards what we're going to be leaving behind. Now, this is again a new moon that is in a trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues and alliances and people that we surround ourselves with. This is going to impact a lot of people from your perspective. And not everybody is going to like your opinion. For some of you, it might have a travel element with Jupiter being in the third house. For some of you, this also might have to do with siblings or travel with this third house energy of Jupiter being in the third house. For some of you, what you might discover has to do with the secrets more so of someone else. Some of you might actually be telling the secrets of someone else, and they are just not prepared for what you have to say. We have the Queen of Coins here. We have the Page of Wands, and we have the Devil card. There's a lot of toxic behavior. There's a lot of things where you're seeing people that need to break away from negative situations. For some of you, Uranus in the first house, you have to break away from a negative situation. Some of you are becoming clear about that based off of the way this is laying out. For some of you, you're being shocked by whatever this is. Queen of Coins, Page of Wands, Devil card. Now, for some of you, the opportunity that comes through, because this can have to do with an opportunity, can feel like a light bulb. It can feel like something you want to commit to learn, like something that we want to work through. For some of you, it's going to take a certain amount of preparation. We have the Four of Swords energy. For some of you, it is whatever is coming through. Again, you're not prepared for Four of Swords energy. It really kind of comes down to where you're lining out. But considering your chart ruler is also in Scorpio, I feel like a lot of you are going to be put into a situation where you need to relearn something and you have to get prepared because it's the only way that you can make the best of the situation. Five of Cups. Remember in the traditional deck, a Five of Cups is a man crying over 3 spilt cups, not paying attention to the fact that he has 2 full ones right next to him. You have 2 hands, 2 full cups. Bottom line, cups are refillable. We have to focus on what we have, on the best of what we can create something into. If we stay focused on the positive, let go of the toxicity, let go of the problem child, that Devil card, let go of the other situation, and put our mental energy towards what we can create, what we can produce, what we can do from here. There's a lot of promise in the end of that. 10 of Coins. Now, for some of you, you need someone to come back around to offer the clarity. Maybe something got missed before. Now, I'm not always a big fan of certain Mercury Cazimis and Mercury retrogrades bringing some people back because for a lot of times and a lot of this energy, there has been a test. But considering the end of this Mercury retrograde will also have a full moon in Gemini that follows it, a startup energy, a level up energy, and that's going to be in your second house of money. Sometimes some of y'all need somebody to come back right now to give you the direction, to put something into perspective for you, to give you clarity. And it's most exact to the people that you were dealing with, talking to in the springtime of this year. It can go a little bit further back, but that is the most exact based off some of the other transits that are going on. Some of you, the people that are coming back, it is to test you. And it really kind of comes down to where we're at. Is this emotional stuff? Is this relationship stuff? Or is this more business opportunity and financial stuff? If it's business opportunity, this is more likely going to give you some direction, but I want you to stay steadfast and making sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. Don't trust somebody just because they're promising you money. Be real about some things. Other people that are going to come back and then be like, oh, I've always had feelings for you. I've always been trying to be with you. I was always trying to like, then where the hell were you before? Why didn't you say that before? Ooh. If they don't have a real answer, remember actions are louder than words. And don't believe the bullshit. There's a reason you have a devil card in here, but there's also a reason you have a 10 of coins. Break the patterns of not repeating the same old bullshit. And remember, some of you, because your chart ruler is in the 7th house, you need the support and the clarity of other people to come through, especially next week during the Venus-Mercury conjunction. I feel like that's whenever y'all get the most clarity. It might not be during this Cazimi, but more next week, because that's going to show you like the reconnection that has more potential with this 10 of coins. I feel like if it's coming through this week, we got the devil card to deal with. If it's coming through next week, I feel like it's more of that 10 of coins. And both of these are your cards. So be aware of that. All right. Moving along. For Geminis and Gemini risings, your chart ruler is being a pain in the butt. I just feel like saying that. This Mercury Cazimi in a conjunction to the new moon in your 6th house of health, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people, and the way that you care for people, the things that you are doing in your job, the things that you are doing in your routine, they are either helping you with your relationships and your partnerships, or they are creating damage for you in your relationship and your partnerships. Why do I say that? The ruler of this new moon is Mars and Pluto. But Mars is in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. And he can be disrupting some things right now. He can be creating tensions in relationships, tensions with the people you surround yourself with, tension all the way around. There can be a lot of tension in this vibration. Now, for some of you, this is going to be health related because it is a new moon in the 6th, but the ruler of the new moon is your 7th. It can be your health and the needing of someone else that you don't normally want to rely on to help you get through it. It is their energy that is helping you feel balanced. For others, it is because you are helping someone else that you're having to deal with the tension that you don't want to deal with, especially if it comes to grandparents, elders, or if we're having to deal with something tied to bosses. Because remember, this new moon, Mercury Cazimi, show that it's in a trine to Saturn and Neptune, which is in your 10th house of career, in your goals, in your public image for the future. It is in a trine to Jupiter in your 2nd house of money, your assets. And there's definitely a financial change that you guys can be feeling, letting you know if you need to walk away. And for some of you, you know that you've been getting triggered by insecurity over these last few weeks because right before the Mercury retrograde started, Uranus, which this Mercury Cazimi new moon is opposite of, went back into your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, endings, betrayal, insecurity, healing, retreat. Some of you are going to get triggered even more in regards to where you need to pull back, where you need to quit giving so much of yourself. Some of you are going to feel this energy and just how exhausting it is for you because it is impacting your health. And some of y'all have to realize the only way that you can have the desires of certain things that you need to do is to tell people the truth of what you need to stay balanced. We have the Justice card and we have the King of Swords. Now, this Justice card, I'm going to read this one of two ways. Some of y'all need to do different things in your health and in your routine to keep yourself balanced. For some of you, you have to say what is necessary and fair for you and others in the workplace with authority figures, with the elder, with your family members, knowing that it might cost you money if you don't have all the extra things coming towards you. This isn't fair for everyone, And I know that might impact a paycheck. I'm thinking of the trine to Jupiter and Saturn. That's why I'm saying it that way in this vibration. But a certain amount of truth needs to be understood. Now, for some of you, if you're the reception to what you release, what you understand, what you showcase, I'm thinking of the Mercury Cazimi now. It is going to force you to recognize that you need to walk away from some places. You need to walk away from certain things because this is not giving you what you need. For others, it is going to give you a whole different perspective of certain situations and how you need to perceive things moving forward. Knight of Swords. The clarity, the perception, the vibration that comes through. For some of you, it is going to be harder. For others, it is going to be uplifting. I feel like the uplifting comes a little bit more next week versus this week. But we can find solutions and we can find other ways of moving forward with that information, with certain truths, and with other people. King of Wands. In addition to the King of Wands, we have this Nine of Cups. Now, I always look at the Nine of Cups as like, it's better to be lucky than smart. When luck is on your side, fortune follows, happiness follows, certain amount of favors follow it. Little manifestations from the universe find their way of coming through and they help fuel your passion. For some of you, the clarity comes through of where you need to rebalance yourself and rebalance the energy. Again, to not be so exhausted. For others, it is going to make you see certain truths that you are in a place that you don't need to be in. And it is going to make you aware of some things that you need to walk away from. The actions of other people are going to make you aware that this is not where I need to be. This is not who I need to trust. This is not who I need to work with. And the Mars in the 7th house energy is not giving us a whole lot of gains quite yet. It can, but it's not right yet. The Mercury retrograde, and considering Mercury is your chart ruler in Mars's sign, it's making us rethink a lot of things. We're getting different truths. Many of us are going to be, again, offering different support to other people that we would not normally need to support. We're going to be teaching certain lessons from a moment of experience that we wouldn't normally do. Some of us, we are providing the clarity. We are holding the mirror of accountability. For others, you are looking at your reflection. Some of y'all are going to have to walk away from some people. Some of y'all are going to get some direction. It will make sense as we get through this entire week. The support energy is most likely to come through during the Venus Mercury conjunction, which is going to be like right before. So I want to say that's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. I think that's where you guys see more support. Where this one, it's more reflective of where we're giving too much, what we don't continue. And for a lot of you, who you need to walk away from or who you need to give a break to. You know what? We need to take a break. Go figure your shit out. Go do some healing. Go do some yoga. Go do some therapy. It might help. All right. Moving along. We're going to get to Cancers and Cancer risings. Okay, my loves. This is a new moon in your 5th house of love and luck and joy and romance and happiness and children and creative energies and psychological things that go back to your childhood and how we want to do something different and how we want to have fun with something. This is a new moon Mercury Cazimi combination in an opposition to Uranus in your 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues and people that you surround yourself with. It is in a trine to Jupiter in your 1st house. Now, for a lot of Cancer risings, this vibration of Jupiter has been trying to help you expand, trying to help you heal your confidence. Some of y'all have had physical expansion, and I'm so sorry. Anytime Jupiter goes through your 1st house, he can add weight to your hips just through his energy. Okay, let's be fair about that. Some of y'all be like, I don't like the way this feels. For others, we are trying to heal some things. So scorched earth energy of before. And we know for us to be happy about a situation, we got to look at committing to something and doing something different that we haven't done before. And there's a lot of things that are coming to light. Given the placement of this new moon, it's in a lighter energy for you. It's the Mercury retrograde that makes this part a little bit harder to deal with. But I think a lot of you are in that support position. You're helping other people. You're helping people in your surroundings. You're doing different things in your work. You're finding a different purpose. You're getting a different kind of direction. You're seeing a different kind of truth in this vibration. You are finding yourself in a place where you can teach. Now, remember, this new moon, Mercury Cazimi combination, it is in a trine to Jupiter in your first house, but it is also a trine to your ninth house of higher education, higher learning, learning through experience, travel, institutions, teaching. There are certain things that are going on that sometimes you guys are the student, but in other ways, you guys are the support. You guys are the teachers. Quite literally, you're the teachers. You're holding the mirror. You're helping people build something different, understand something different, understand certain truths differently. The thing about that Queen of Swords energy, there are no emotions to swords. It is the facts, it is the figures, it is the receipts, it is what can be seen in black and white. I don't care if it's red all over. The truth is the truth, baby. And sometimes we have to see the truth. We have the Queen of Swords, we have the Sun card. We're going to go back to the Three of Coins here in a second. We also have the Six of Swords. So I'm going to put these three together, and then we're going to go back to that Three of Coin. The Six of Swords. Many of you are going to find yourself in situations where you're repeating a pattern, but you're repeating a pattern from the outside perspective. You're seeing somebody repeat your situation. You're seeing somebody repeat your lessons. And in some ways, you want to help them. You want to show them how to heal, how to love differently, how to not repeat the pattern. And some of you are going to find yourself showing people Sun card, that bringing to light vibration of how you step away from situations, of how you don't continue the pattern. Some of you are going to find yourself in the position of helping someone else get out of situations. It's a much more water supportive energy whenever it comes to things from your perspective. And some of you, after you help these people, it is going to be something that helps rebuild your confidence in a whole different way. That Strength card. Remember, Jupiter in your first is making you regain confidence, but it's also going to make you heal the things, especially the things where we had scorched earth earlier this year. We need to expand. We need to heal. We need certain people around us that can give that level of accountability, that can help us build a different kind of foundation. Here's that Three of Coins again. This is where I'm going to keep it in the rest of the deck. What comes through, the truth that comes through, the clarity that comes through, the opportunities that come through can give you insight to where a different direction all the way through can happen with the Fool card. This is a lighter energy for you guys. And over these 2 weeks, so between this new moon and the full moon that's going to happen in Gemini, and that's going to be December 4th, 5th timeframe, I'm doing that from memory, is the only way to heal is through new connections for some of you. The only way to overcome the past bad habits is to see them from the outside perspective. And whenever you see something like that for the very first time, you see how somebody responds to a toxic situation, or you find yourself where you can see someone else who takes different actions. And it's like, oh, I want to be able to do that. Some of you are learning, some of you are teaching. I want that ability to have that kind of control. I want that kind of insight. I want that type of vibration. And the connections that can come through here offer a very different kind of clarity for you guys. And it again shows you the ability of where you need to make revisions, but revisions again that speak to happiness in the end. I don't want to fall into the same old pattern. Just because a guy shows me attention doesn't mean I want to trip all over it. I want to have a different kind of strength in my behavior, a different kind of strength in my actions, in my reactions. I don't want things to feel the way that they have felt before. Some of us are learning different moves and actions, and it is the people that you surround yourself with over these few weeks that show you a different way of going. It is going to help you overcome the past. It is going to help you break some habits. If there's opportunity for connection, But I want to be absolutely clear. I'm not just talking about a romantic connection. I'm not talking about romantic people coming back around. I want genuine connection that makes you feel good, that brings your inner child out. Some of y'all might have an old friend coming back around, and I would be good with the old friend. I'm not good with the old relationship. We're not repeating any patterns. We're not going back to Pluto and Capricorn energy that you dealt with for the last umpteen years. No, 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 no. We want something different. And the best way to learn is to learn through certain objective vibration, seeing how other people speak their truth, how other people connect, how other people look at things, and finding a different form of confidence in either the things that we are learning, or if you're seeing other people repeat your patterns, finding a confidence in helping other people not do the same old shit that you used to do. For some of you, this is going to have to do with your kids. It's a fifth house Mercury Cazimi new moon. But even you can be in a place where you're teaching your kids these types of things. Don't do what mom did. Don't do what dad did. Do better. Go to school. Get your grades up. Whatever lessons you need to learn. But don't just say, don't do what I did. Explain it to them in a way that they can understand. So that way they are more likely to accept this verbiage. Don't yell at them. Don't just tell them what to do. Explain it. Tell them where you fucked up. It's the best way for you to heal. And it's the best way for them to actually listen to the problem and actually listen to what happened. Heal in the connections on all levels. Heal in the connections. Okay. Moving along, moving along, moving along. For Leos and Leo risings, this is a full moon in your fourth house of home life, family, root, ancestry. It is in a trine to Jupiter in your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, endings, betrayal, healing, retreat, disconnections. Not only that, the ruler of this new moon is in your fifth house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. This new moon, Mercury Cazimi combination, it is in an opposition to Uranus in your 10th house of career, but also father figures. It is in a trine to Neptune and Saturn in the 8th house of death, debt, taxes, inheritance, a lot of financial stuff here. But it all still comes down to two parts for you guys. The ruler of this new moon, Mercury Cazimi combination, show that it is in your 5th house. It is in a trine to Jupiter in the 12th. It is a trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 8th. Some of y'all need to relook at your behavior. Some of y'all are going to be the mirror. Some of y'all going to have the mirror be put in front of you. Truths need to be understood. Truths will help you rebuild your confidence. The thing about this final days of the sun, your chart ruler, being in Scorpio, is there has been a lot of things about what's behind the scenes, below the surface, especially whenever it comes to the family dynamics, things that have impacted you since your childhood, some that goes back to the mother wound, some that goes back to the father wound. There's a whole lot of truth and a whole lot of heartbreak that needs to be understood. For some of you, the truth is going to come through this week. For others, the revelation, the Mercury Cazimi, is going to come through this week. And whatever truth, whatever light, whatever is discovered, and for you guys, some of y'all are doing a discovery, it is a reflection of something that needs to be healed. I want a lot of you to think back to what the Mars retrograde felt like. As much as Mars is retrograde in Cancer, people tend to forget it started in Leo. It started in your first house. It retrograded back into the 12th, and it took on that energy of the unknown, the unseen, insecurities, testing your patience, making you feel alone and making you feel isolated. This energy is not forcing the isolation, but it is showing you why that isolation was necessary, why the disconnection of before was necessary, and where we need to expand and where we need to heal some things. And there's a whole lot of energy around frustration, especially whenever it comes to other people, especially whenever it comes to your family members, and a whole lot of truth and a whole lot of accountability. So we have the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is kind of a betrayal card. The Five of Swords is a conflict card. So is the Seven of Swords. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of frustration. Some of the arguments are in our family. Some of the arguments are with people that we try to share our household with. Some of the arguments have to do with money. Some of the conflict has to do with money. Some of the truth that we are pursuing, some of the information that is coming to light, Knight of Swords, is going to fuel us with the direction of what we are moving forward with now. Some of the truths that need to come to light are things that other people are not prepared to understand. They're not prepared to accept. For some of you, you are not prepared for acceptance of it. And many of you are going to be very, very stuck in the idea of what I don't have versus what you do. The people that are not there for you versus the ones that you have. The idea of that person and what they meant to you, and not the person that they showed you that they actually are. So much of this energy has a lot of truth to it, as well as a lot of emotion. With the Five of Cups, this screams to that emotion. And some of you need to just realize that there is no purpose in fighting the same fight over and over again, going through the same levels of circles over and over again, just to get put into the same place. We need to do something different. We need to hold accountability. We need to recognize when other people are holding us accountable. And there needs to be a reflection of changed behavior. And staying focused on the good that you have versus what you don't. Sometimes your toxic family member is never going to be anything more than the toxic family member that they are. Your mom, your dad, your sister. You just need to accept the fact that self-love is the best thing that you can do. And if you're willing to accept that person into your life, then just do it in small doses. You don't have to accept them all the time. You can just do it during the holidays. Some of y'all going to get through the holidays though and be realizing, I don't ever want to see this person again, holiday or not. There will be directions that will split. Certain truths that come through that force you into another recollection and reflection of your healing process and why it was better to not be connected before and why I don't want to be connected now. Don't want these same things. Now, for some of you, whatever is going on with your family does have a financial impact because we have the trines to both Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house. Some of you are getting help from elders or father figures. You're having something come through unexpectedly that is going to allow for something new to happen, Ace of Coins. And it is also going to allow for a new level of tradition to follow with the Hierophant card. If you always go to your mom's house for the holidays, just humor me, I know not, then maybe we don't go to mom's house anymore. Maybe we do Friendsgiving. Maybe we do our own thing. Maybe we go to dad's. Maybe we don't commit to the same thing that we've always done because we already know how everyone's going to behave. Maybe we quit committing to the insanity. It's not a bad idea. Whatever happens after these next few days, after the new moon is perfected, things start to move into Sagittarius. That is your 5th house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. Right now, there's this vibration of understanding a truth as to what holds you back from being happy, from being creative, from doing your own thing, from being in a relationship, whatever it is. There's a reflective energy of what we need to change. But for you guys, it can then allow you to immediately tap into something else. It can immediately give you a different idea as to what you were dealing with in your childhood, a different light, a different truth that can follow. There's a reflective energy here that gives perspective very quickly. And committing to the insanity is something that we don't continue to do going into our new normal. There are truths, there is clarity, there is understanding, and there is direction. But just remember, right after this new moon, things are going to go into Sagittarius. And that's going to be a much more vibrant, happy, connective energy for you guys. So accept the truth. Actions are louder than words. And then don't continue the patterns that bring you pain. Find something else, create something else for yourself with other members of the family, whatever you need to do. Build something different for yourselves. Some of y'all have to cut down the family tree, like I said in the intro. Okay, moving along. All right, for Virgos and Virgo risings. Now, the interesting energy of this, it's a new moon, Mercury Cazimi, and at this point on the screen, like it's really close to being exact, so you can see where the ascendant is going to be whenever that new moon, Mercury Cazimi stuff is going on. It is in your third house. Short distance travel, learning, education, community, connectivity, communicating, marketing, branding. It is not in like a heavy placement, but your chart ruler is retrograde. So you have something that you want to change. You have some kind of clarity that you are feeling. Some of you want to go somewhere different. You want to travel somewhere different. Because of your travel, you get clarity, you learn lessons. This new moon, Mercury Cazimi, is in a trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 7th house of relationships, partnerships, other people. It is also in a trine to Jupiter in your 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues. Some of y'all need to get clear on what you need to change in the way that you connect to people. Some of y'all need to get clear in the way that you connect to certain partnerships. Some of y'all are going to have a change of opinion in how you've been connecting to a partnership. Some of you are going to see a different path that you need to connect to. Things that are going to give you passion, things that are going to give you joy, things that are going to make you feel fulfilled. Now, are you getting fulfilled all in one moment? No. In fact, many of you are just getting direction, and it's coming through like intuitively, empathically, your meditative energy, like it's coming through in a way that other people are not going to necessarily understand. But there's like a new truth that we need to reveal, that we need to understand, of what we want to do differently, of cycles that we want to end, of what we want to change, of what we want to transform. And for some of you, that transformation is exactly what is going to help you with certain levels of happiness. Now, I like your cards, by the way. Going to the idea of you're getting direction, but you're not getting immediate results. We have the 7 of Coins energy. This is quite literally like planting the seeds, knowing that we will not get the fruit to take to market until the springtime, until later. There's a gestation period. You put the seeds in the ground. They got to grow. You got to get the right amount of sun and water and blah, 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 to get to the fruit bearing. There is truth, there is enlightenment, there's some kind of clarity, there's some kind of direction, there's some type of change, adaptation, there's a trip, there's something here that gives you clarity of something that you want to change. And because it is a Mercury Cazimi new moon combination in a fixed sign, it's a change that you want to do for the long term. But whatever you're committing to is not going to have immediate results. And whatever you're committing to, not everybody is going to understand. The moon card. The thing about this moon card is it's not like the sun. The sun generates light and it gives as much light as possible. It brings everything into focus. The moon card is reflective. It doesn't always give direct light. It does not provide actual light. It reflects the light off of the sun. So there's a lot more room for shadow. There's a lot more room for things to not be seen clearly, for things to not be understood, for things to not necessarily be easily trusted. But it's believing in your intuition with this moon card. So we have the 7 of Coins and we have the moon card of something that we want to do for the long term that is going to give us wealth, prosperity, the potential of happiness. We have the Queen of Coins as well as the King of Swords. For some of us, we're making very tangible money related decisions with the Queen of Coins, things that are going to give us prosperity and give us the ability to achieve in that Empress. It's not just Empress. This is like the minor version of the Empress. So it's like the transformative energy that gets you to a level of energy before you actually hit Empress level. With the King of Swords, there's some kind of truth, some type of information, facts that we need to stay steadfast about, whatever we put into plan, we need to be steadfast about that. This is going to be something that we focus on because it is going to be a cycle of transition, but it is also going to be a cycle, death card, of not doing the same thing we did before. We are ending a cycle to do something different. So some of us, that cycle is going to have to do with other people, connecting to other people differently, connecting in a relationship differently, connecting with our grandparents and our family and them differently. The ruler of this new moon, Mercury Cazimi, where it's happening, is Mars. And Mars is in your fourth house of home, life, and family. So there are elements that can speak to whatever is coming to light, whatever is coming into clarity, wherever we are visiting, can also impact the family. It can impact our relationships. It can impact the people that we surround ourselves with. It is not in just one place. There's multitudes of people around, and some of them are going to support the decisions that you come to, the clarity that you come to. Others are not going to want to continue. They're going to want to end the cycle. Some of us, we're going to end the cycle tied to them, because the goal is we want to do something that speaks to our heart's content, that allows for certain things to happen in a more happy, childlike, creative energy. And many of you are going to be committing to grow something that is going to allow for a different kind of creative energy for you going into 2026, especially when we get into that late December. So it's like December 21st, all the way until like February 21st. So this 8-week span of energy is going to be so important for a lot of you in your creative process, in your own personal happiness, in the things that you're going to do. But before you can get to that, before you can be happy, we got to end some cycles. And we got to deal with certain truths all the way through. So I'm repeating the prayer cards of the King of Swords and the Death card. Just remember, your chart ruler is creating a mess for a lot of people, but your chart ruler is also hosting the eclipse axis, the south node in your first house. You are having to make changes. You've already had some changes that you committed to. Now we're seeing where we need to make revisions so we can continue to have the perspective and the direction that will come through the future Virgo eclipses. And please note, I said more than one. Okay. Conversation for another day. But anyways, we're going to keep it going. We're going to get into Libras and Libra risings. This is a new moon in your second house of money, your assets, your stuff, the way that you make money, the way that you spend money. There's a lot of things around your assets. Y'all might be having to make some revisions. You might be having to purchase some things you didn't want to purchase, going out and buying a new phone. Maybe you are making the plan to do it for Black Friday. Some of y'all are going to have no choice, but you're going to be at the phone store immediately. Some of y'all are going to have some additional expenses that are coming through that you just were not planning on. It might not be the phone. It could be anything and everything else. Let's be fair about that. Some of y'all are going to be making the decision or getting some kind of clarity as to where you're going to travel. Some of y'all are going to be putting some money into your siblings. What I'm looking at is the Mercury Cazimi and the new moon are happening in Mars's sign, and Mars is in your third house of travel. So some of y'all are going to be making the commitment to travel, to see family members. Some of y'all are going to be making the commitment to do something different, to communicate something. Some of y'all are going to have some revisions that you were not necessarily anticipating. Some of y'all are going to have some shakeups that are going to impact your career, because again, this new moon Mercury Cazimi is in the trine to Neptune, not necessarily, well, yes, Neptune, but in this part, Jupiter in your 10th house of career and goals and public image and hopes and dreams for the future, just as much as it is in the trine to Neptune and Saturn in your 6th house of health, how you care for yourself and how you care for other people. There's a lot of financial, work, health, routine things that are coming through, something that can have to do with pets. Some of it is going to really make you wonder how you got into certain commitments, how you became connected to something so deeply. Some of you are going to realize that you are in situations that you never want to be in again. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Some of y'all are going to be getting some clarity that you are not enjoying placements in your job. Some of you are going to get clarity that you need to trust people differently in your job. And you're going to find yourself in this situation of trying to learn that. Your chart ruler Venus is also in Mars's sign. So I'm still kind of deflecting to the fact that Mars is ruling a lot of this energy, but Mars is also in Jupiter's sign. So it still can come back to like goals for the future, public image, hopes and dreams, direction, path. But for some of y'all, you got some learning to do. Learning to communicate better, learning a different way to communicate, learning a different way to market yourself and plan some things. There is some learning and some truth that needs to be understood. So we have the Knight of Swords and we have the Four of Coins. Now, some of you, there is some expenses in here too. And you might have somebody asking unexpectedly, hey, can I borrow some money? Didn't you borrow money before? Did you pay me back? I don't know. And some of y'all are going to be questioning whether you should be lending money, whether you should be offering that assistance, whether you should be helping your brother with his plane ticket, whether you should have ever committed to something, whether it's worth the money or not. For some of you, whatever you committed to at work, it's not worth the money. It's not worth the time. And there's a truth that needs to be understood with that Knight of Swords. Some of y'all are going to come real clear with the fact that you don't want to continue to carry a burden. And that clarity of the Mercury Cazimi is exactly that with this 10 of Wands energy. I don't want to carry the burden. But for others, the clarity is going to show you where you need to change the way that you commit. Now, I'm not saying it's creating commitment. This is not the same thing. But if you are willing to do the deep dives of healing within yourself and learn to trust other people in a different way, I look at the fact that from your perspective, Mars also rules your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. And some of y'all need to accept different ways to commit. 2 of Cups. Different people that you need to surround yourself with, whether this is professionally or personally. 3 of Cups will help you build some long-term stability going into the new year. Remember, November is a necessary necessary revisions, necessary shifts in perspective, getting down to the root causes, getting down to the nitty-gritty so we can make different decisions afterwards. And when we go into December, we're going to be able to start making different decisions. And there's this window of really solidifying new responsibilities and a difference in what we want in commitments, a difference in who we commit to going into the start of next year. January and February are very important, especially from your perspective. And there will be certain things that need to come to light. And there will be a whole different form of stability, financial stability that needs to come through, as well as relationship, partnership, connections to other people's stability that will come through. But the only way we can get to that stability is you not repeating the same patterns. If you do continue to repeat any patterns that are not serving your highest good, you're going to regret it later. You're going to regret it later. Don't do the sneaky shit. Don't try to do shit where you think you're going to outsmart everybody. That's not helping you. Do what's right and not just what looks right. That's a big thing. Versions of the truth, understanding the difference. It's not always about appearances. Getting to the nitty-gritty of what you need to heal is understanding. It's not always about appearances. It's about the actions. It's about where we get the best results. And sometimes the results to get the stability that you want is accepting the truth that not everybody is going to live up to a standard that you have not been clear on all the way through. Some of y'all and your standards becomes a problem. All right, moving along. For Scorpios and Scorpio risings. Oh, we are the problem. Let's just start with that. We are the problem. We are the mirror. We are getting clarity. We are getting tested. We are telling the truth. We are not putting up with the bullshit. We are either teaching the lessons or learning the lessons. We are the freaking problem. Oh, This is a new moon in the first house. This is a Mercury Cazimi, also in the first house. Your mind, your body, your identity, you. This is in a trine to Jupiter in your ninth house of higher education, higher learning, healing, giving perspective. For some of you, it's travel. For others, there's direction. Others, you're hitting a different part of your healing process that is helping you with your level up. I don't know if you're ready for that yet, but it's definitely helping you with your level up. This is a Mercury Cazimi new moon, also in a trine to Saturn and Neptune in your fifth house of love and luck and joy and romance and happiness and children. For some of you, you have to be clear about what you need to be happy, of what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to no longer accept, whether you are willing to continue the old behaviors of before or whether you are going to let people go and let people live their own life and no longer commit to certain toxic behavior. The ruler of this new moon, of course, is Mars and Pluto. Pluto's in the fourth house of home, life, and family. We are in a long-term energy of understanding our new place as the matriarchs and patriarchs within our family. Mars, the other ruler, is in our second house of money. It's in Jupiter's sign. If we do our lessons appropriately, if we heal appropriately, we get rewarded financially. Others are going to have expenses come up that we were not anticipating. It really kind of comes down to where you're falling in this energy. But there is clarity. Some of us, we are providing the clarity. We are providing the truth. And that truth can be very shocking to other people. I don't want to continue. I don't want this drama. I don't believe you anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. Three of Swords, the Devil card. We're tired of betrayal. We are tired of certain people coming in, giving us the impression that we can rely on them just for them to continue to flake. Uranus in Taurus lessons has made us recognize that who we thought would be stable, they're not that. And for a lot of us, the hard lesson has been that's been our family. Uranus also rules our fourth house of home, life, and family. This new moon, Mercury Cazimi, it is opposite Uranus. Some of you, the shock, the truth is telling people you're not going to continue with the drama, with the toxic behavior. I'm not answering your calls. I don't want to do anything with you anymore. You disrupt my peace. Some of y'all are going to have other people telling you that you are the problem, that you have been causing the drama, and that you are disrupting their peace. It really kind of comes down to how this is unfolding in your chart and everything else. Some of us, we are the problem. I've said it from the beginning. Others, by us holding other people accountability, yeah, we're the problem. But that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Some of us, again, because of Pluto and its long-term energy in Aquarius, the clarity, the truth, the new part of us is a big part of our ascension and whether we are going to be seen as the matriarchs and patriarchs of the family. Some of us are going to be seeing the new dynamic of the matriarch and patriarch. We're going to be focused on our mothers. We're going to be focused on being the mother, Empress card. We are focused on a whole new dynamic that offers support and healing and family. And the ability to continue with this pattern of bullshit is not in the cards. We don't want it. Stop it. Go away. Now, after this Empress card, we have the Ace of Coins. Remember I said Mars in the second house, Mars in Sag can have some money things. We have a new financial energy. We have a new financial prospect. We have new expenses coming up. We have new opportunities coming up. Ace of Coins. Followed by the Six of Coins. This level of exchange and give and take, doing equal give and take, always helping other people while getting help in return, making sure we're making things fair for everybody. And we have this Nine of Cups. It is better to be lucky than smart. By breaking the habit, by not continuing the pattern, by not feeding into the negative toxic behavior, it gives us the ability to make space for something new, something prosperous to come in. And over the next lunar month means new moon to new moon. So that means from this week, the new moon, all the way to next month, and the new moon in Sagittarius, there's a level up vibration feeding into you, your mind, your identity, your needs. And for some of you, that means financial windfall. For others, if we're doing the negative side, it is going to be more expenses. And it really kind of comes down to how we're dealing with Mars in Sag. Have you been having a lot of extra bills come up? Or have you been figuring out ways to pay your shit? It really comes down to if you've been holding things close to you and making smart financial decisions. For others, it's burning a hole in your pocket. Make smart financial decisions from this point moving forward. Do not overspend on Black Friday. Do not give a bunch of Christmas gifts. It's not necessary. Don't do it, especially for people that are not going to appreciate it. Don't do it. Recognize this week that we are the problem, and that can be a good thing just as much as it can be a bad thing. It really kind of comes down to the truth and the accountability that's coming through with other people. Are we providing accountability? Are we providing the guidance? Are we providing the lessons? Are we helping other people? Or are we having our own toxic shit thrown back into our face and making us realize we need to make a change? The Mercury retrograde is a test. The two signs that are getting tested the most have been Sagittarius and now Scorpio. Are you ready? Are you in it? Are you realizing the test is the test? It's a test. It's a test. Break the habit, do something different, or understand the strain and the stress it's going to continue to have on you. Hold people accountable if you haven't been. Accept accountability if you are the one that's been messing up. Easy as that. So fun. Okay, moving along. moving along. We're going to get to Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings. This is a new moon in your 12th house. The unknown, the unseen, endings, healing, retreat, disconnection, not wanting to be tied to a bunch of people, not want to be dealing with a bunch of people. Some of y'all not feeling well. The thing about this Mercury Cazimi is it is in the opposition to Uranus, now back in your 6th house of health. Some of y'all, if it's not dealing with things coming up from the past, discoveries of things from the past, discovery of things that have been going on behind your back, because that's a big possibility. It can be that. But for others, it's impacting your health. It's draining you. It's exhausting. Anytime you have large transits going through your 12th house, it is exhausting energy. But some of y'all are also, again, dealing with the things that have been going on behind the scenes and behind your back. And once certain truths come to light, if this is that kind of thing, the way it will empower you to make a different decision very, very quickly is an understatement. Because right after this new moon, we're going to have the sun come into Sagittarius. By this time of the morning on the 20th, the moon is already in Sagittarius. So there's a lot of things that can come onto your plate, certain truths and information that can hit you rather quickly. And it again can show you where you are not going to continue doing so much hard work without any reward. Some of y'all, it is exhaustion. It is you needing to retreat, you needing to not be connected in other ways, not be giving so much of yourself to other people. And sometimes you need to get clarity of that. Being in moments of self-care is so utterly important. But other things that are going to come through. So we have the strength card for the self-care, but the other things that are going to come through are going to force certain information into light and certain decisions that need to be had. 2 of Swords, Knights of Swords, that once the truth is revealed, once the past is discovered, once the sneaky shit is discovered, there is no going back, especially for you guys. Because once it falls onto your plate, once it becomes your problem, once it becomes a truth that you have to deal with, remember, this new moon, this Mercury Cazimi, it's in a Mars ruled sign, and Mars is in your 1st house. It is going to get discovered. It is going to come to light. It is going to have to be dealt with in some way, shape, or form. And once that everything comes into light, once certain decisions are made, it is going to show you a path and a passion of whether you are going to continue certain things in your work, in how you achieve things, in the ways that you make money, in the ways that you spend money, in your family dynamics, or it is going to quickly show you where we are nearly complete with a pattern, where we are not going to continue certain frustrations, where we're willing to release and let some things go. Because after this Ace of Wands, we have the Eight of Coins and we have the Nine of Wands. And for a lot of you, again, the Two of Swords, which is one of the cards I've been talking about since the beginning of the month, the twos, the splits in the decisions, the direction, the path. There is a split in the decision. Split in the decision. You see it, you see it, you see it. For some of y'all, it's giving you a fresh perspective as to how things are going to continue, how we're going to do a different dynamic in our home life, how we are going to be doing different things in our expenses. What I'm thinking about is that new moon, that Cazimi. It's in the trine to Saturn and Neptune in the 4th. It is also in a trine to Jupiter in the 8th. For some of y'all, there is the awareness of an ending. Now, I want to be clear about that part, and I wanted to talk about that part first, and this goes last, and that's why I'm doing this Nine of Wands. When both the 8th and the 12th are highlighted at the same time, there can be death, there can be loss, there can be endings. Now, for some people, an ending can be a multitude of things. It can be leaving a job, selling out everything in grandma and grandpa's house so you can get that off of your plate, like clearing out estate stuff. It can be personal transformation. It can also be those things that speak to your own exhaustion and things that are coming through in your own health and where you need to retreat. Listen to your body, paying attention to what's going on with other people. It's not an easy vibration. And the one thing about the 12th house that is true more than anything else, it is a blind-siding energy. There was no way to prepare for a lot of what will come through based off of the new moon and Mercury having retrograde back into the 12th house. There was no way to prepare. Whatever comes to light in this energy is stuff that is meant to come to light in a very specific way. And once it falls onto your plate, many of you are going to be forced to make some decisions that you never wanted to face. And that speaks very loudly through that Two of Swords that I have brought up multiple times. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Capricorns and Capricorn risings. I feel like for some of y'all, you are the problem. Also, even though your chart ruler is just kind of spinning right now. But I feel like some of y'all have had to be the problem. Or you are having to deal with other people's problems. And that actually feels more truthful than anything else. It's like, I am having to deal with other people's drama. I'm having to deal with other people's crap, especially people that you surround yourself with, people in your friend groups, people in your tribe, people in your clientele. This is a new moon Mercury Cazimi in the 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues and people you surround yourself with, alliances. It's a very humanitarian energy where we dedicate some of our time, whether we get returns on it or not. It's a social energy. It's in a trine to Jupiter in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. Some of y'all are going to be having people come back around that are helping you with the legal matter. Some of you are having people come back around and it's like you're introducing them to your partner, but come to find out they know your partner. What? How do y'all know each other? Oh, we went to high school together. Haven't seen you in forever. And it's one of those things that it just kind of puts you into a place of stewing. You're in a place of support, but not easily able to offer the support quite yet. And some of what will start to happen after this new moon, for many of you, are going to make you realize some energies towards cutoffs. It is going to make you realize that you need to face certain truths, whether you like it or not, that you have to quit being so damn stubborn. And there's a specific card that has already come out that speaks to the stubborn energy. And you need to face the things that we have been avoiding. We need to release some things from the past so we can finally focus on the potential of something new going into the future. We have to accept some truths We have to quit being so freaking stubborn. Emperor. If this is not a Saturnian card, I don't know what is. The Emperor, set in his ways, always looking at the oversight of how things are going to be, of how it is going to be fair for everyone. There's a righteousness in this energy. I am right, regardless of if you think I am right, I am right. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Some of you are right. Some of y'all are assholes. Some of y'all are both at the same time. Remember, I collect Capricorn placements in jars. I know both are real. Now, some of you are going to be having some things with the people around you, the people that you connect with, the people that you care about, that are going to make you face certain things from the past, Eight of Swords, and deal with certain truths that need to be pursued moving forward, Knight of Swords. Now, the reason I said, like, there could be somebody coming back from the past that you introduce them to the partner, but then come to find out like they know the partner. Mercury is retrograde. Jupiter is also retrograde. So not only can it be people from your past coming back around, it could be the people coming back from other people's past coming back around. And it's as you see certain movements and behavior, as you see certain things in the pattern, you realize very quickly whether you should stay in this connection or not. Some of y'all are going to see some things that are very alarming and are very disturbing, that is going to later on force you to do something different. And you have the most new coming through in January. Okay. But before we can really get you into the new, there's some shit we need to deal with. The Seven of Cups energy. There's some truths and stuff that we need to finally face. Hard truths that some things are never going to change. And the only way to get a change to happen is to do something different. Stop committing to the insanity. Don't let other people commit to the insanity either. But whenever it comes to you, if you're trying to control things, you cannot be in control. Stop trying to commit to that level of insanity. You are not in a place of being able to put control on other people at all. And as things turn around, you're going to realize more and more the things that need to get let go of. The only thing about the Sagittarius transits for Capricorn risings is after this new moon and after everything moves into Sagittarius, where other people are feeling hopeful and boastful, and yeah, it's not for you guys, because that is the 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, endings, betrayal, closure, relief, letting go, being blindsided. Sneaky energy can start to come through after this new moon. Sneaky energy could have already been coming through based off of Mars's presence in your 12th, as well as the fact that the Mercury retrograde started there. However, sneaky or not, you're going to be having to make some overwhelming, going back to the Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords energy, overwhelming hard decisions to pivot and do something different. By the end of the Mercury retrograde, your chart ruler, Saturn, will turn direct. They happen almost simultaneously. Both planets will change directions. Both planets will change opinions. Both planets will speak to a pivot in our vibration. How big or how small is different for everybody. What will happen afterwards has the ability to bring some new things in. The Fool card and the Six of Cups. Saturn going direct will bring one round of change, connectivity, good people in your surroundings, and helping you change a direction, helping you start something different. After the Sagittarius transit, so once we get into the late part of December and all of January, basically, when everything moves into Capricorn, we will be in a 1 month, in a 1 year, with a lot of planets getting reborn in your first house. The new that is coming is great. But before we can do the new, before we can commit to the new, before we can discover, announce the new, we got to clear some shit out. There's some people that do not continue. There's some habits of your own that do not continue. There are some things that need to come to a close. And based off of any little inklings and alarm bells that come through after this new moon, it can make you aware of some people that need to get cut off. some things that need to come to a close. And it's not going to be easy for a lot of people to hear. Just be aware of that. Okay, moving along, moving along, moving along. We're going to get to Aquarius and Aquarius risings. Okay, my loves. This is a new moon in your 10th house of career and goals for the future, hopes and dreams for the future, public image, father figures. Opposite Uranus, one of your chart rulers, in your 4th house of home life, and family, and mothers. There can be some family dynamics, things between mothers and fathers, things between you as a mother or a father, things around your family. There can be things that have to do with health. This is a new moon in a trine to Jupiter in the 6th house of health, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people. This is also a new moon, Mercury retrograde, Cazimi, in a direct trine to Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house of money. Some of the new opportunity that comes through is going to take some work to get it going, but there's a new path underway. There's some decisions underway that is going to bring some changes in the springtime as to what you want to be doing differently. But we're not quite there yet. We're in a turn in the vibration that feels like there can be promise. It can actually feel hopeful. It can feel very connected. And it can really start to make you connect differently and rely differently on the people in your surroundings. The ruler of this new moon is Mars and Pluto. Well, Pluto's in your 1st house. Mars is in your 11th house of friends, network, clients, and colleagues. The change in the energy, the change in your surroundings, the change in people that you trust can give you hope and direction of some other new that's going to come later. Ace of Wands, 8 of Coins. We also have this Wheel of Fortune card, which tells to me that we have a turn in the events. We have in the turn in the opportunity. We have certain opportunities coming through. Some of the opportunities are going to be based off of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. It's like having the right friend or the right person go, hey, I got a job opportunity over here. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about this option? You want to look into this? Are you interested? Now, you might not be quick to jump into that. You might not be quick to go into that. You might need some time to mull it over. High Priestess card, meditate on it, look at the pros and cons, look at the numbers, look at some opportunities. But considering we're following with this with the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Coins, there's a reason for the shift in opportunity. And for some of you, the shift could have actually been an opportunity that was offered to you weeks ago, but you're just now really starting to consider it because something else has come through saying, hey, that opportunity before was giving you the chance to do something different, do the opposite, but you didn't take it. Now the opportunity is coming back around. Are you willing to reconsider? Are you willing to look at something different? Are you willing to no longer have the same levels of power struggles? Remember, one of the rulers of Scorpio is Pluto, and Pluto is in your 1st house. Pluto is changing you as a person. It is helping you deal with different power dynamics. It is helping you, now that he's direct, reclaim your personal power and not be subject to the same frustrations that you would have before. Where Pluto is out in the sky, he's been here multiple times, but this will be the last time he's direct in this area. So he's giving you some real opportunity to connect to something, to do something, to reconsider something. And for a lot of you, it is something that you had in the past, but you didn't take the consideration seriously. I like this energy for you guys. Some of you are going to have some things pop up at work that is going to force you to go back to the reconsideration. And the more beneficial energy of this Mercury retrograde, it comes through next week between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when we get the Venus Mercury conjunction. I'm really in love with that energy. And I think that it's going to be very beneficial and helpful for a lot of people, but we're not all seeing the benefits. We're not all connected to that quite yet. So just understand that some of the benefits might not be immediate. It's the clarity as to why there was an opportunity presented before, and now making you reconsider the options, reconsider the direction, reconsider your path, reconsider your career, reconsider who you surround yourself with. This is a really good energy for you guys in a lot of ways, Where it's hard is if we're having the family dynamics, because we can be having issues between mothers and fathers, things around our family that are creating issues, especially financial issues. But again, for a lot more of you, it is more about an opportunity to turn something around for you guys, especially whenever it comes to your finances. Now, some of the verdicts, so to speak, I'm not going into your cards anymore. I'm just talking about this. Some of the verdicts and the truth that can come through, they might cost you money, but it wouldn't be that much of a surprise if that's in fact the case. But for many more of you, it's an opportunity more so than the negative energy. So just be aware of that. All right, moving along. We're going to get to Pisces and Pisces risings. Oh, my loves. This is a new moon in your ninth house, higher education, higher learning, how you connect to source, how you connect in faith, things tied to institutions. Institutions can be banks. They can be schools. They can be churches. They can be prisons. This is true. People don't always think about that. Think of anything that can be, quote, quote, an institution. You can go into any bank and talk to anybody about the access to your account. It's not a person, it's an institution. For some of you, it is going to be travel related energy over this next week or two. Some kind of clarity around travel, some kind of change in your tickets. This is a new moon, Mercury Cazimi, in the ninth house of higher education, higher learning, and travel. In the trine to Saturn and Neptune in your first house, you could have some kind of travel situation that comes through that you're not entirely sure. Do I want to do this? Do I want to commit to this? Do I want to try? For some of you, you're going to have something pop up around a child or a loved one, because this new moon, Mercury Cazimi combination, is also in a trine to Jupiter, one of your chart rulers, in the fifth house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. Some of y'all are going to have some things that pop up with an ex or with a family member that test your patience, test your household, test what you are dealing with. For some of you, it is going to force you to make some decisions that we have not been quick to make. We've been trying to do the right thing. We've been listening to our intuition. We've been trying to give benefits of the doubt, but we've been giving all of the benefits. And no matter how hard we try, it feels like things are going to be harsh. It feels like you guys have to make some really harsh decisions as to whether we're going to continue dealing with something or not. You've been waiting something out for a while and just kind of waiting for certain things to show the opportunity as to what you need to do differently. High Priestess card. This is an intuitive card. We're getting the downloads, we're getting the lessons, but there's no teacher. It is the universe that is teaching you. Saturn and Neptune is forcing you to really hone in on prior energies and understand why a change is necessary, why we don't continue our own patterns of behavior. And once they turn direct, which will happen, the Saturn retrograde will end right around Mercury retrograde. It's not the exact day, but they're like 1 or 2 days apart. The Neptune retrograde will end closer to the full moon in Gemini, which is Mercury's sign, which that's around December 4th. So the next few weeks, the clarity and the lessons can be lessons from the universe, just as much as they can be lessons from other people. That High Priestess energy is really putting some things into perspective. Some of you are going to have to do different things about holding and not being so giving to everybody. You need to hold your cards close to your chest. You need to hold your money close to you and not pay out so much, not be so giving to other people. You got to make some hard decisions. 2 of coins, to not juggle so much, to not give so much to everybody. And some people, once you speak this truth that you're not going to continue the same pattern, you're not going to keep doing the same things, some of them are going to see it like a betrayal, 7 of Swords. Others are going to see there's an opportunity for growth and potential, and they're going to be like, all right, fine. That's harder energy to understand, and that's harder energy to believe. But the last thing I need you guys to do is to be giving so much of yourself to people that do not deserve it. The thing about Saturn and Neptune is Saturn has been in your first house, not continuously because he did his little pinky toe dip in Aries, but since March of 2023. Neptune has been in this area of the sky since the early 2010s. It was like somewhere between 2011, 2013. These are long-term energies where we're breaking a cycle, because this is the last whirlwind of these 2 planets in your first house. And some of you are getting lessons from the universe in their direction of how you're going to continue some things. And you might have some final opportunities, some final little things that trigger some emotions, some final little things around your family, some final little things about the future, about the prospect of the future, especially whenever it comes to masculine figures and father figures. What I'm looking at is the fact that Mars is the more dominant ruler of this new moon and where the Mercury Cazimi is. And he is in your 10th house of career, but the 10th house can also do with father figures. Some of you are going to have to break certain habits, speak certain truths, and for you guys in particular, really hold accountability for other people where we haven't been able to do it in the past. You've given too much grace. You've allowed lies to cloud your judgment. You've allowed other people to cloud your judgment. And we don't need to continue that same pattern anymore. We're breaking a habit. We're breaking the patterns. We're not continuing doing the same old song and dance. The Mercury Cazimi and new moon, it's in a trine to your chart ruler, Jupiter, but it's also in a trine to your chart ruler, Neptune, as well as Saturn in your first house. You're learning through experience on this one. And if we can break the habit, break certain patterns, and not do the same old thing, not give so much grace, not keep doing what we've done in the past, a new direction and a new opportunity and a new potential will show itself once we get into the new month, which will be, of course, be December. It's time to break your own habits more than anything else. Be aware of that. Don't give grace. Don't give too much of yourself. Hold your boundaries. Have some self-respect. Now I'm just being ornery. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.